Okay, so I wanted to start us on this next step by taking a look at a painting that we have seen before in art class. It's Basket of Apples by Paul Cézanne. And it's just a reminder of things that we just talked about as we were setting up our still lifes. The idea of having different kinds of texture, of having lines that draw the viewer's eyes into the painting and all around the painting, of having a clear composition. Now, one of the things to keep in mind as you're drawing is trying to keep your negative space and your positive space equal. That will help it become a strong composition. Additionally, trying to keep the weight of the objects. What would be the heaviest and what would be the lightest? Trying to keep that even on both sides of the painting as well as from the top and the bottom. So thinking through those things when you are practicing drawing your still life. If you are looking at your still life and realizing you're nowhere near that and you've actually got your still life set up very unbalanced, go ahead and stop for a moment and fix that. Okay, our next thing that we are going to do is we are going to be doing some quick draws, okay? So when we are doing a quick draw, we just draw to get the shapes in the right places. That's really what our only focus is. Are we getting the objects in the place that we want them on the paper? Okay, now I've got my piece of paper here. I'm going to go ahead and divide it into 4 parts. Just so I have 4 places to work. And again, I'm thinking I want mine to be vertical, so I can go ahead and draw vertically in these 4 spots. However, as I start to draw, if I feel like I'm struggling with that, there's no reason I can't turn my paper and try it horizontally as well. In fact, I encourage you to do that. The more different ways that you draw it, the more comfortable you feel with the objects in the painting or in the drawing. Another thing is don't forget to change your position here and there. Try it from different angles and see which way you like the best, okay? So I'm going to start my timer and you can join me. Just get your piece of paper ready to go and let me get my timer going. I'm going to set the timer only for 30 seconds. That doesn't seem like a lot and it's not. It's forcing us to just draw the simple shapes. Ready, set, go. Remember, we're just drawing simple shapes. We're not trying to get everything. We're just trying to get those simple shapes. Ooh, look, I ran out of room, so I'm going to have to improvise. I'm going to have to make this smaller. And this is the whole reason why we're drawing that. And my vase is more like this. I've got this. I've got flowers coming out. I've got my apple down in here. I've got my doll right up in here. Okay. There's our timer. Go ahead and stop and see how far you got. It's not stopping on me. Hold on. Okay. And look, even though I wanted to draw vertically, I ended up drawing horizontally. So I'm going to shift my paper this way and see if I can be more successful getting the things where I want them to go by drawing vertically instead of horizontally. Notice how quickly I drew. If you are realizing that you are drawing way too slow, on this one, try to speed it up a little bit. I really like that cup. I thought that the flowers would be the centerpiece, but it's turning out that the cup is the center of my picture. It's the focal point, right? My vase is kind of off to the side over here, and it's it's actually about the same height as my cup because I haven't put the book underneath. Oh, and there's my sprawling flower. Ooh, that's going to be so fun to draw later on. And then I've got these ones right here. I've got this. And now my picture's going off the edge. Okay, the book angles straight across like this. Oh, and look. Let's do this. Now that we've got a basic idea of the position of the shapes, let's go ahead and give ourselves 1 minute. So I'm going to flip mine this way, and I'm going to use this box right here. So I'm changing the timer to 1 minute. Okay, ready, set, go. This time I'm going to start with the flower over here, and then I've got the vase here, and then it angles out. This is a smaller box, but that's okay. I'm still getting the idea of where the shapes are going to go on the paper. The book comes out like this. Oh, no, the book comes out from way behind, and it's almost horizontal with a little bit of an angle. I got to work on figuring out how I'm going to put that book on there because it's not looking quite right to me. And then my doll is down here. And my apple. Ooh, I've got so much time. We're at 20 seconds. Doesn't that feel like forever already? It's amazing how just that shift of time will help us be more successful later on. If we had started with 3 minutes, we would not be as successful as we are right now. Okay. And now I can go back through and really start getting those shapes figured out. I'm going to be using some value on that. I want to think about that. I'm going to get my cup a little bit more. Now, another thing that's tricky, and I'm catching myself do this, is I'm drawing what I know is the still life, but I'm not actually fully focusing on what I see. And in art, we talk about that a lot, that we draw what we see, not what we think. Because so often we get an idea in our head of what we are drawing that we stop actually looking at it. And we start drawing what we think in our head rather than what we see. And that's when we start making our mistakes in art. When we start realizing that what we're trying to draw does not look realistic. And it's because a lot of times we draw information that we don't see but we know is there. Okay, and then, oh, there's that fun little texture right in there, those details on my cup. That's going to be fun too. I've got a texture here. And don't forget to be thinking about where the textures are going to be going on the paper. Okay, and I think our timer is off. Yes, it is. Okay, so go ahead and stop there. If you would like to keep practicing, if you don't feel like you've got your things in the spots that you want them to be, go ahead and stop there, okay? And keep practicing, keep timing yourself, and get yourself really comfortable with where the shapes go on the paper, okay?